Hi, friends. Welcome to Andrea Lake 101, the making of a billionaire. On our journey, we are 18 months in right now since I woke up and my whole world fell apart on 9/9/2023. And this episode is going to cover what happened in Sticker Junkie in the first quarter of 2025 and what are our plans for Q2 of 2025. Because remember, I'm living my life in quarters again. And as all of you know, I set down some really outrageous scaling goals of scaling 26% per month. Well, spoiler alert, we have not hit those goals in this quarter, but we did fan-freaking-tastic. And we're modifying things as we go. And as this journey becomes bigger and bigger, and I'm aiming to close all of these deals, there's stuff I can't talk about. There are things with humongous corporations that if I talk about them, they won't happen. But I can't wait to tell you what they are as they roll out. And some of them I can on this episode tell you now. But there was also some nasty legal stuff that we had to go through in the first quarter of 2025. Things that I cannot talk about. But what I can say is that I was achingly sad, heartbroken, in a position where I still can't take a day off or rest or get away from what I am creating because now I have 16 employees full time and contractors and stuff, responsibilities all over the place. And all I wanted to do was crawl into bed and watch The Walking Dead and play a game on my phone, maybe smoke some weed and just be not dealing with what I had to deal with every day. And instead, I had to be a grown up and get up and go in and handle my stuff. But when I say that I mentally was really not in it in Q1, that is just some real honest to God entrepreneur shit. I was so achingly sad. And I went back into therapy because therapy is awesome and I will be fine. But sometimes when I come on the podcast, I'm being super upbeat and we're doing this because we are doing those things. But the real deal is it's been a hard 3 months, a hard 3 months. And now we're coming to an end of it. Today is April 10th of 2025. So we're officially in Q2 and we got it kicked off so right with my team at Sticker Junkie. And so we're wrapping up Q1 with a pretty little bow and saying bye-bye to it. But the opportunities that I missed in Q1, girl, they were ridiculous. Girl, I had the opportunity to sell out Necker Island, which is Richard Branson's private island. If you are unaware of what it is, go Google it. I had friends that are throwing events there. I have several friends for several different weeks of selling out Necker Island. And I had two different opportunities where if I sold a couple tickets, then I could go for free. If I sold more tickets than that, I could get a little kickback on those other tickets. Same thing, I'm a consigliere. Just why? How do I get this? Just because I know very fucking interesting, cool people who are super successful entrepreneurs and serial entrepreneurs that I've met over the last 30 years of owning a business. And as we thoroughly discussed in previous episodes, those people didn't go anywhere. I still know all those people and a lot of them like to go to Necker Island. And then I became a consigliere for TED, the main stage TED Talks in Vancouver. And I just know a lot of really interesting people that truly want to go to TED. Now we are all going to go to TED 2026 together. And I could have gotten all of the things, all of the passes, all of the stuff, all of the connections with TED. And when I tell you I did not sell one ticket, I did not sell one ticket. So finally, I pulled myself out of this, right? Just a couple weeks ago. And I finally started throwing my San Diego entrepreneur potlucks that I'm doing one every 6 months for the next 6 months. The first one was last Friday. And I have 14, very, very high-powered, interesting, fascinating people at corporations and entrepreneurs and artists, etc. It's just this great conglomeration of people. And I said, okay, guys, I'm a consigliere for TED. I know that TED is next week. Can anybody go next week? No, nobody can go next week, but everybody wants to go. I said, how many of you want to go to TED next time? There's 14 of us. There are 9 people raised their hands. I'm like, I could have sold all of the tickets, but I just didn't. I did do a lot of work, obviously, but there were so many things that I should have done that I just didn't, that slipped through my fingers because I was sad and hurt. Luckily, we got through it. Q1 is over. Signed off on everything that needed to be signed off on, closed out everything that needed to be closed out on. And quite frankly, there was still a lot of wrap-up compliance. I know I've mentioned this in a couple other episodes, but when I came into a very broken company, when I say there was a lot of different paperwork we had to get in place, policies that we had to lay down, insurances that we had to set up, back taxes that we had to reconcile with so many different agencies. To close the door on those this quarter and get totally back into compliance and get all of the permitting that we need in order to, I don't know, fucking go bid to be a government contractor for those pretty dollars that come with government sticker contracts. Girl, listen to me. Those are $50,000 minimum contract. If they're less than 50 grand, then usually it can just be put on the credit card there and it doesn't have to have special vendor approval. But if you want a Department of Transportation, for example, in the state of California contract, or the Department of Energy or Public Works or any department within the government, if you want to do all like fucking the big stickers that are on the boxes warning you about electric shock or whatever, those are massive contracts. We have some of those we just did for the national parks. It's thousands of dollars, these orders, you guys, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And you have to get licensure through the federal government to become a government contractor at the federal, state, and local levels. And there are huge contracts at every level. It's crazy. So I am going to talk about what happened in Q1 real fast. And then I'm going to tell you what's coming in Q2 because I got to unveil the whole Q2 plan to my team this week, you guys. It was so fucking fun. I cannot wait to tell you that story. I'm obsessed with my team. They're so good. And they really got me through Q1 because I was the only one not doing my job. Everybody else was banging and cracking on every cylinder. We got our turn time in production with our production managers, Dave and Dana, and our crew, Chance and Koa, down to like 3.9 days, I think it is, right now for our turn time. And that's including our big orders, right? So usually on the website, there'll be some fine print of like, yo, hey, if you order like 50,000 or 100,000 stickers or however fucking many stickers, that just takes a shit ton of time to cut. That takes a long time to cut that many stickers. So like the turn time is not 3 days on those, just because the setup and then all the printing of all those many sheets for 50,000 stickers. But guess what? Our overall turn time is 3.9 days. So we were banging out like 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 sticker orders and still turning them within 5 business days. Like that is really good. And everything is just humming along. Design is just buzzing. Hayden is killing it on social media, and David and like Jenny and Brian and I are on the social media team. And Hayden came up with this girls just want to have fun sticker sheets reel. And I was like, this is the epitome of what I want to see in the short ones. But she's moving also into more of a phase of storytelling. And then they did one for this surf brand in Costa Rica called Frijoles Locos, which is like, it teaches you how to surf down on the beaches in Costa Rica, and created the most beautiful reel for that client. And then on, oh my God, we're going to talk about the marketing in a second, but the reels have been so great. And design has been moving along. Proofs have been getting out the door fast, even with way higher order volume. Because as our orders are increasing, it's amazing that everything is keeping up with basically the same team members. We only hired one new team member, Chance, but that team member replaced an amazing team member that we had, Kara, who moved on and is doing her entrepreneurship thing, selling her crochet patterns. Shout out. Hi, Kara. So Chance came in to take the place of someone else. So our team number has remained the same. And then Wendy and Mads have just totally stepped up. Mads has learned customer service at this point and is coming in and doing a lot of sales stuff with me, especially as she comes on full time. She's still in school right now. And Wendy has stepped up as just the jack of all trades. She is a fantastic, amazing designer. She is also stepping in and filling in a lot of Jenny's responsibilities when Jenny goes out of town, and has done customer service and is great at sales and is coming into the sales department more with me. And she used to work with Brian at Jinx, as did Chance. And so we're actually having a reunion of all of the Jinx people tomorrow night in the beautiful building that I live in San Diego, and just like reconnecting with everybody from that team because, of course, I owned the sales rights on Minecraft, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty. Well, I had those sales rights because Jinx had the licensing rights. And the way that they got the licensing rights was their previous chief operations officer called me one day because I owned the licensing rights on Jinx. For anybody who is not in the clothing industry for 20 years, when you own the licensing rights on a company, what it means is that I was allowed to sell, produce, distribute their merchandise to stores. And so I owned the licensing rights for the brand Jinx. It was a gamer geek hacker clothing company, like the biggest one in the space, for years and years. And then their former chief operations officer called me one day and said, "Hey, Andrea, how do you do this licensing thing? Like, we're going to PAX, we're going to Penny Arcade, and we want to license the shirts for that event." So I told him, and I shot him over a contract. I shot him over our contract that I had with Jinx and was like, "Here you go." And then he called me back and he was like, "Oh my God, PAX just gave us their licensing rights." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I just fucking one day randomly was like, oh, so I have like a licensing company now." I didn't do anything to have that. I just was like, "Oh, I just do this now." And I called High Times magazine because I was advertising in High Times magazine back in, oh, we are so off in the weeds, but it's a good story. I was advertising in High Times back cover for anti-establishment clothing and then Sticker Junkie for a long time. So when I called them up and I'm like, "Hey, I have a licensing company now," they were like, "What? What the fuck? This chick is a fucking baller. She buys our back cover every other month." And the back cover was like only $6,000 back then. And so I got so much exposure from the back cover. And because remember, this is like 1999, 2000, 2001, but I was advertising, it looked like a catalog on the back of High Times, and it would have all my fuck you t-shirts, my anti-establishment t-shirts for sale back there, and a 1-800 number that you could call, or you could go to the website, because like Google Ads didn't exist in 1999. And I would run that ad for like $6,000 and I would do maybe $18,000 or $22,000 worth of sales or something off that ad. But then I would get all the repeat business from the repeat customers from those ads. And I ran ads in Rolling Stone, Maxim, Blender stuff, like all of the early High Times, Tattoo magazine for years and years. We had the back cover of Tattoo magazine. That's why we have such good relationships with so many tattoo shops. So then their chief operations officer gets Penny Arcade, and while they're there, creates a relationship with Blizzard Gaming, and Jinx gets the licensing rights on Blizzard Gaming, and it was such a get. And then they call me and we're like, "Hey, we have to take you off of this because we're too big now for you to have our licensing rights." And I said, "Oh, I'll retain your sales distribution rights." That means that I just did the sale and Jinx did the production of all of the artwork, the approvals with the main corporation of whichever license, like Blizzard Gaming in that case. And then I would go and manage the client relationship with the store and negotiate the pricing and get us end caps and whatever. So we're having a reunion party tomorrow night with all the people that I used to work with at Jinx. And because Brian was the director of operations at Jinx and is now the chief operations officer at Sticker Junkie, it's just like so fun because it's a very similar vibe of this cool counterculture company, which is just the place you want to work. Like we actually just really like each other at the office and we have a lot of fun together. But the last month has been a bit of a slog because it's just been a lot of heads down, very hard work for everybody, getting the operations right in each different department. And then I haven't really been there and the sales haven't been scaling the way that I wanted them to. And so originally we're like, "Oh, we're going to do 26% growth per month," which is obnoxious and amazing. And I do still think we'll do it. But the thing is that when you're scaling a company and you do something like what we're planning to do, which is started at 1.7 million in annual revenue, and we hope to end out the year at 10 million annual revenue, right? So it's like over a 500% increase this year in a single calendar year. That's a lot, but I'm going to tell you how we're doing it in this episode. So in that position of like massive scale, it doesn't work like 26% this month, 26% this month, 26% this month. It doesn't work that way. It'll go like slow and something happens and you have to sort something out and you have to correct something and you're talking to a client. Any client name that I say out loud, I'm either allowed to say out loud or I don't have that client and I'm not talking to them right now. And I'm not talking to Pepsi right now or Coca-Cola. As much as I would love to be talking to them both, I'm not talking to either one. So I will just use that as an example client in this. So a client like Coca-Cola, if they get distributed within our whole system, the way that I created it, where there's a very private interface for every single person within a corporation to be able to easily buy corporate approved artwork through their whole entire ecosystem. Once I get integrated within a company, we retain our clients because we make it so fucking easy for them to order. And our customer service is like, you just literally will not find better customer service anywhere. I would dare you to try and find even equivalent customer service of how much we actually just really care about our clients and about pleasing our clients and about how much we're like a small business. And a lot of our competitors are owned by private equity, or they're a very large business, or whatever. But there's not a lot of people in our position where we're courting these huge, giant, ginormous clients that if I could say the name of the clients, it would be like saying Coca-Cola, that we are just getting right now. And it is so fucking fun. I walked in the door the other day and I walked past a computer and I was like, oh, is such and such our client now? And I couldn't believe it. One of the ones that I'm allowed to say because they shouted us out on social media is fucking Adidas. Yes, please, Adidas. Are you kidding me right now? All of the yes. We have so many amazing, fun things happening right now. But even, for example, with Adidas, it's a couple of the people at Adidas and they did shout us out and they do shout us out publicly, but we're not integrated in Adidas in the way that I sure fucking would like to be. Hi, guys. And so my job right now is like when I'm going to these events like TED, like the Milken Institute, like Summit Series, like Renaissance Weekend, like all of these things that I talk about, my job is to meet the chief marketing officer of those companies and hang out and chitty chat with them. And these are not salesy events, and I am never salesy, but just say, hey, I own this sticker company. And like, is it cool if you connect me with the right person in your company after this event? Like, that's the total of the conversation at some point within a half hour of like getting to actually know each other, because we actually just really all like each other that go to these events. And then I get the right introduction and then we move forward from there. However, today I was reminded that like when I first got the client Hot Topic, who I must have sold $100 million worth of merchandise to over the years, just so much merchandise. Yeah, it took me 9 months to get Hot Topic the first time I started to sell to them. I want to say like, oh, I emailed them every week, but that would have been obnoxious. But I emailed them a lot, a couple times a month. I called a couple times a month. I would preface it and be like, because I almost always got sent a voicemail because I wasn't one of their vendors yet. And I would preface it like super nicely and be like, hey, I'm not trying to bother you. I just think that we would be such a great fit for your store. And I know you said you like our stuff. And I sent you some more samples of different things you haven't seen yet. And like, I hope you keep me in mind the next time you have a little bit more buying budget, because I'm telling you what, it is a dream of mine to be in your stores. And I would love to have you as a client. They actually said straight from the beginning, Hot Topic said, yeah, you know, we actually do like your stuff and we do want to try you. We kind of want you to be a little bit bigger, because if we take you in too early and your stuff doesn't sell well enough, then it's going to be like an extra year before we can actually test from you again, because the buyers get bonused on when things sell through. So I was remembering that this week when I'm like, damn, I have been talking to some of these Fortune 500s for months now, and I have been talking to some colleges for months now, and things are just taking a little bit longer than I would like for them to take to close, which means that the numbers are not where I would want them exactly to be, but they're really fucking good, but they're not where I'd want them to be. And also I was sad. And there is no point in hiding that. And so I didn't do as much follow-up as I should have. I just really didn't. While I was very busy and working, I wasn't doing the things that were actually going to close the most sales. So we kept holding this, like, we're going to do 175 grand this month. We're going to do 175 grand this month. We're going to do 175 grand this month. And we were also very, very, very distracted by all the legal work that we had to do in the last 3 months, which thank God is done now. At this time, like to give the biggest shout out to Brian Burling, our Chief Operations Officer. And I keep threatening to have him on the podcast, but now that we have the studio, I really am going to have him on the podcast. He just nose to the grindstone with every single legal issues, the ones that we didn't want to be negotiating that we had to negotiate. And then also every level of compliance. You guys, to get your government contract official number of like, I am allowed to bid government contracts, or to get an official, like I'm an SBA certified woman-owned business, or any of these things, they're government agencies, right, that you go through, which means that there is a lot of paperwork and it is meticulous and unfun. I'm going to say unfun and tedious, and the questions are really difficult, and there's some of them are really hard to even understand, even by very bright people who are reading them. And so Brian dug in to get us all of our paperwork set, all of our paperwork settled, all of the issues that were out of compliance, in compliance, as well as getting us in the process of becoming a government contractor on state, local, and federal levels, as well as a bunch of other little licensing things and big, quite frankly, licensing things that we are working on. And because Brian was the director of operations at Jinx for 15, 20 years, a long time, that's his whole background. And because I started a licensing company, that's my whole background too. So when we start going for big boy licenses, watch out. So I have jokingly said, but I mean it. When you look at a company like our biggest competitors, Sticky Brand, Sticker App, Sticker Giant, Sticker Mule, and there's other players, of course, in the space, but the multi-million-dollar sticker companies, those are the companies that are getting those kind of contracts because you have got to jump through so many hurdles to get those kind of contracts. So to come and be reviving this company from the dead, we had lost all contracts that we had like that because they were just sort of long-term, but the customer service had kind of fallen down the hill and I wasn't in the company anymore, making sure that everything was meticulous and perfect. And oh my God, we got this order for Pepsi, who was one of our clients, and we made these stickers. I would show them, but I legally can't show them because it has one of the logos on it. And although I don't have any contracts with them, but whatever, the stickers did not peel out of the backing. And it was like $18,000 worth of stickers for Mountain Dew. And my former manager made Pepsi return the stickers. Hand to God. I was like, what the fuck? He goes, well, they said that they don't peel out of the backing, but my stickers are perfect. They're just trying to scam us. And I'm like, you think Pepsi is trying to scam us for $18,000 worth of stickers? This multi-billion-dollar corporate, I'm pretty sure they're fine. They're not doing that. What the actual fuck do you fucking mean you made them return the stickers? Well, funny enough, he had never thrown away the stickers that he made them return. So when I came back into this very broken company, I found this huge, it had to be a 60 or 70 pound box. It was just insane. And the stickers were terribly packaged. They were like just dumped in a bag. It was the most obnoxious thing. And I pulled out sample after sample after sample after sample. And when I tell you that you could not peel the stickers out of the backing, you could not peel the stickers out of the backing. So I know what it's like to have clients like that and then to lose clients like that and then to get clients like that back. And we are right now in the process of getting new clients like that and clients like that back, but where our stickers are just perfect. So Pepsi, if you are listening, our stickers are just perfect and we would love for you to be our client again. So as we're establishing these big goals, they require me to do what I just was talking about. They require me to go and fucking talk to the CMO of Pepsi and say, hey, we have this cool thing. Come be our client, or Coca-Cola or whoever. And I just wasn't doing that enough in Q1. I was doing tons of other things, but not that. I was just regaining my stability and regaining my footing in Q1. So we kept printing these really cute charts that Michi creates. And you can see how high the stickers are in those months. We got so close every month. So we did great. We actually did super great. We were still up over 480% from the previous year, but we were not hitting our targets. And so in March, our target once again with no additional growth was $175,000 for March. And we did $164,000 and change. So we were targeting $5,600 a day and we did $5,303 a day, which fucking is fantastic, but was not our target. And when you see these super duper cute charts and you see they just barely keep not hitting the mark and the number is not increasing, it's just 175 a month until we hit that month. I was like, oh, this is demoralizing for my team. I don't like this. So that's where we ended. We did great in Q1 with a pretty absentee Andrea. And now I'm back. I've come back in the last few weeks. I took some rest time. I took some restoration time. And I just decided like, look, I really do want to do this. I want to rebuild these companies. And if we're hitting our targets, then I got to get on it and just hit them. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of me. I have been creating little reels that Hayden is going to cut for the interwebs, for Instagram, and for all manner of TikTok and things to give entrepreneurial advice and also just show like, hey, we're over here and we're doing this. We have this little dog and pony show, TV show, and podcast. We're actually transparently sharing our financials and being real about what it looks like to scale a company. And sometimes it's a slog and sometimes I don't want to do it. And I'm 51, so sometimes I'm just having like perimenopausal fucking rage and hot flashes. And I'm like, I just want to go to my house in Sedona and build Legos and drink marijuana tea and just fucking fuck off and not post anything on social media. I want to be a house cat. I want to be a private person. I do not want to be putting myself out there. Except for that, what I want more is to rebuild my empire. And the fastest way to do that is to put myself out there. And because it was so called and necessary for me to come back out of retirement and work, like I didn't have a choice there. I feel like I'm meant to be sharing this story widely, or this wouldn't be happening. Because even where we are right now, I could go sell this company right now and pay off the debt of the company and have some amount of enough to start back with, to start a trading portfolio with, and just be done and not have any employees and not grow anything, etc. And I have just already decided that's not what I want to do. I want all of the things. I want to sell a financial course, which I did just get clearance for from General Counsel of the way to do that. I got some advice on taking my Series 65. I have a call with one of my girlfriends who used to be an attorney with the SEC to run my content by her just to make sure that there's nothing that looks wonky, and that is the power of a network. I want to really roll out the Towers program and really roll out delinquent distribution. Like, I'm so excited for all of it. And now I'm fully back and integrated into the company, and it feels really good. But we missed our mark. So that's the wrap up for Q1, was just we missed our mark, but not by a lot. So we did end up doing $164,000 in March. And if we were to take that and multiply it by 12 as our average for the month, because next month we already can tell that we're going to beat that, that would be about $1.9 million in revenue. So we're doing great. We're flying high. And the goal for next month is actually 175, but just to hit 175, or I should say this month in April. And we are kicking ass in April. In the first like 5 days of April, our average was $7,400 a day. Like, we're just doing fantastic. The word of mouth is taking off, and we are starting to close these bigger clients. So let's talk about Q2 and the meeting that I got to have with my employees, which is very similar to this podcast. I did the recap very quickly of Q1 and said, hey, we got so close. And like, I am really happy with $5,300 a day, but I'm way fucking more happy with $7,400 a day. And my sweet spot where I need to be to pay off the debt of the company within 2 years is that $12,400 a day. And do you know what? That is not very far away. Now, luckily, if you're watching with us on YouTube, you're actually going to get to see clips of our super fun team meeting that we did to announce all of the plans for Q2. We started out with a mind map, and Brian was talking all about the mind map that he and I are creating. Why are we creating a mind map? Because we are doing so many things in Q2, you guys. And we idea dump and put all the good stuff that hits the wall that we want to keep into the mind map. And then Brian works backwards for the 14 weeks of the quarter, and then gets granular and puts things on a day-to-day basis of like, hey, if we want to have the 3-booth, massive, amazing, best thing anybody has ever seen exhibit at Pride this year in San Diego, that's like July 19th and 20th. We got to start working on that right now. That means that I have to get all the artwork approvals for the new Sticker Tower catalogs by May 1st, right? That means that we have to have all the contracts signed off on by X date. That means that we have to have all the pre-production samples and files, corrected in vector, etc. by this date, get everything printed, blah, blah, blah. We have to have a booth model done by this day. We have to have a budget approved by this day. We have to blah, blah, blah. Just the whole entire plan of what has to get done, or else it's just simply not going to get done on time. And I think that Brian and I are the most complementary pair of chief operations officer and chief executive officer that we could imagine, because Brian also has all of the soft skills to actually be a CEO, which is not always the case with the chief operations officer. So it is just a perfect combination of, he is so great with the team. When somebody comes to him with any type of issue, he's so great at conflict resolution. He's also really great at making people really feel heard when they come forward with an idea, validating people, of listening to all of the different stuff that's going on and helping create solutions and different process oriented things is just awesome. And then we have Jenny, oh my gosh, the best office manager that one could possibly ask for, who has her finger just on the center pulse of the company and has managed a kitchen before. But you know what? Running an office is way different than running a kitchen. And to see her thrive and grow and become this fantastic manager with us, it is delightful to see. She is the perfect combination of, like, Jenny comes in and, like, she's no nonsense about getting things done and getting them done the right way, but you feel heard when you're talking to her. She's a safe space for people to come to, and she really cares so deeply about the company and about the mission that we're on and about creating the best workplace that we possibly can in the world. And she is so passionate about learning and development and self-growth. She thought she was going to be a tattoo artist, and she had been the lead pastry chef at a big vegan bakehouse in San Diego and has lived 1,000 lives. She was like a diamond grader. And just as an artist by any measurement of the word, but also is really organized and really good at getting shit done. So she is our office manager. And I could gush about every single member of the team like this. So going into this meeting, Brian is like saying, okay, this is what Jenny and Andrea and I have been working on. And specifically, Brian and I a lot on this mind map and getting everything laid out so that we actually accomplish our goals. And like, if you don't have that in a company, it's really hard to scale. I know that I've said this before, but like, I cannot overstated. Most people that go on Shark Tank, their businesses fail because it is hard to scale a company. There are a lot of ways that you can mess up. But we are luckily in the position where we're working and working and working like dogs. Brianna and I were working like dogs for a year, pulling that sled forward on this company to get it into the shape when she left the company. And Brian came in for the last 3 months and really just nailed things into shape. But every foundational lay that has happened in the last 18 months from the time I walked back into the door to right now, all of it had to happen in order for us to be in the position that we're in right now, where when we do get those big clients, we don't disappoint them. I go into the team and I'm telling them this, and we're seeing the mind map, and then I pull up these numbers, you guys, that are going to blow your fucking mind because they're mind-blowing numbers. I had someone who has never started a $40 million company. She's never started a $1 million company, and she was trying to give me business advice. She kept trying to drill into me like, you're bad and you're doing it wrong because you're not like running Instagram ads, or you're bad and you're doing it wrong because you're not running AdWords. And I'm like, that sounds exactly like advice from someone who has legitimately just never started a big company. Because if you're starting a big company, you have to have a clear focus of who your customer is. Well, I know who my customer is. I know exactly who they are. I've been running this business since 1999. And I love all of my customers. I love our customers that are selling their very first stickers ever on Etsy. That's how everyone starts out. So anyone who started a $1 million clothing line started by selling a t-shirt or a sticker. However, you have to know what your target is. And I'm like, well, my target is 3-tiered. It is our customers, our first-time customers that we have that are artists, that are dope, that are getting their designs on like 50 stickers. We love those clients. But the clients that are going to keep the lights on, the clients that are going to give us the ability to scale, the clients that are going to really push us forward are the clients that need anywhere between $750 and $20,000 worth of stickers a year. Those are our sweet spot clients, and we have a lot of them. And so that's like a bookshop or a record store or a dispensary or a brewery or a restaurant or a mechanic shop or a taco stand. We fucking love those clients. And the average annual spend of those clients, those small business clients, is $4,780. Someone who orders between $750 and 20 grand with us, their average annual spend is $4,780. So in order to get $20 million in revenue, we need like 5,600 clients like that. Then there is another tier up from there that are like the chains of breweries, the chains of dispensaries, the chains of bookstores, the huge online book clubs, the big podcasts, right? Who are ordering about 20 grand worth of stickers a year. And I know that that's an incredible amount of money. And so many people are going to be like, fuck, people spend that much on stickers, but fuck, people spend that much on stickers. They sure do. Then there is like the ultra tier of clients. clients. When I was using Coke and Pepsi, I was using those as the biggest examples because those would, if I integrated with any beverage company like that with my Backpage system that I have, it would be millions of dollars of stickers a year. Because like every time that Coke or Pepsi sponsors a 5K run or a concert or an event or a whatever, or Red Bull or Liquid Death or fill in the blank, then we have areas where they'll have like corporate approved artwork, but there's part of it that's customizable at the bottom that's just like the name of that particular event. So it makes it so easy in big corporations to just like seamlessly order no matter where you are in the country or what kind of an event that you want to have. So if you have a big corporation and you would like to get your stickers from Sticker Junkie, just shoot us an email at support@stickerjunkie.com. We would love to be your new sticker vendor. I personally handle accounts like that, and I would love to handle your account and get you integrated within our system. But the top tier clients that we're going for, like institutions, Fortune 500s, any large company, they generally speaking spend about $200,000 a year on stickers, or government contracts like the California Department of Transportation. I am guessing spends hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on stickers combined between all the different projects that they're doing. And there are many, many, many colleges, institutions, organizations, nonprofits, huge ones, hospitals that would fall in that range where they're just buying like $100,000, $200,000 a year worth of stickers. So of those top tier clients, the average actually is $200,000 annual spend. So big ass clients ordering $200,000 a year worth of stickers, we only need 100 of those to make 20 million bucks. Our breweries, our dispensaries, our dessert places, our coffee bars that are little chains that do like 20 grand a year worth of stickers. Girl, we only need 1,000 of those and we got $20 million in revenue annual. And then our top tier, top 10% clients, anyone that orders over $750 a year worth of stickers from us, which is like most clothing brands, most small businesses, most like taco shops, most mechanics, most pizza joints, order stickers and it's going to be above $750. And for all those people, we have a huge contingent of fly fishermen right now. Love the fly fishermen, love the quilting community, love the crafting community, love the bookshop community, love the coffee shop community, love the colleges, love all of it. So for those clients who are buying $750 to $20,000 worth of stickers annual in that tier, they average $4,780 a year in stickers. However, if we go fight on Instagram, as this person continually, essentially, and very annoyingly suggested I was doing something wrong by not doing it, I know I sound bitter. The average of those customers order $120 worth of stickers a year. And do we love our clients that order $120 worth of stickers a year? Yes, yes, we do. But it requires an intense amount of customer service because we are so hyper personalized and so hyper high touch that every single one of our client, it doesn't matter if they only have one design. It doesn't matter if they only order $200 worth of stickers from us a year or $100 worth of stickers from us a year. We still build them a private customized back page. We still go back and forth with them and get their artwork exactly perfect. We still make anything right if it is wrong. But when we do a color correction on a file like that, we are so upside down on the order. If they go back and forth with one of my artists and we have to go calibrate a press for $100 order, we just spent $300 in employee time and press time and all the stuff to get a $100 order right. That math is not mathing. So let's do the math on how much an Instagram or Google AdWords average customer spends. It's $120 a year, which means for the highest tier, we need 100 customers. For the second tier down, we need 1,000 customers to do 20 million revenue. For the Instagram tier, where the average person is spending $120 a year that you get off of a random Instagram ad, we need 200,000 of those customers. And so that is why I put all of my time and energy into securing really large clients. But I like to have all of the tiers of clients, but my focused personal energy is on those top 3 tiers of people who are going to spend over $750 a year. To say that we are getting the most amazing clients within that range, I cannot say it loudly enough. They are so fun. Their artwork is so good. They are so easy to work with. It's so easy to work with other small businesses because we know how to make them feel special and we know how to make them happy because we know what makes us feel special and happy. So I'm going over the business plan with my people and I'm really explaining to them in terms that they very much understand, like, hey, you guys, this is why we're not going after the AdWords space. I don't know how to do it. And the different firms that we have are not pay to play. The different firms want huge retainers in order to put out ads for us. And I don't know which ones are good and going to work and going to produce. And I've hired so many firms over the years that just sucked and did not get us results. And so if there is a firm out there that wants to do something through our affiliate program, which is so generous, we pay 10% for 2 years on new clients. So if there's somebody out there that wants to just do it and get paid out from our affiliate program, then great. But this is not something we're sinking dollars into because the clients that we get are not big enough. And very often those orders actually end up upside down for us. And we're competing in a space where all of our competitors are running ads that are like 1,000 stickers for $89. And all of these things are things that I went over in my team because I really go into the granular nitty gritty of like, this is how you run a business. This is why we're not doing that, because seeing this kept coming up. There were team members of ours that were like, we don't understand why we're not competing on AdWords. And I'm like, because we would lose money all day long. Our competition, the big five in sticker printing, have priced us out of pay-per-click. It is so expensive. And then they're doing loss leader promotions to get the client in the first place, which, look, I understand. And if I was venture backed or if I had a company that was pulling in hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue a year, would I do that too? Yes, also, of course I would. But I don't have that. So I need to be scrappy. And I cannot lose money on campaigns. I do not have the money to lose on campaigns. And when our competitors are selling like 1,000 stickers for $89, they are losing money on that order, or they are producing a really shitty product. There's sort of no way around it because even if they're getting volume case, bulk, pallet, discount, truckload pricing on materials, which we also get, the materials themselves would be more expensive than that. So once you have the interaction with the artist who's setting up the proof onto a sheet and then getting it printed out and then cutting it, and then even the person that's packaging the order and putting it into a bag and weighing it and making sure it's right and putting together a sample pack to put in with your order, every step along the way costs money. So you are just losing money or hemorrhaging cash if you're giving away 1,000 really nice outdoor weather guarded vinyl stickers for $89. That's just an insane, you're losing money, period. So that's why we go after clients that understand the value of really high touch customer service, because while we are equally competitively priced, because every big sticker company looks at each other's pricing and we all just essentially have the same pricing. So while we're incredibly competitively priced, our customer service is tippy top shape, which means we just need those bigger clients. And now in Q2, we're getting those clients. And I went over our numbers and I explained, like, we need this many clients that make this much, this many that need this much, and like, let's go. And then I ran down specific clients. Now, I'm not going to say the exact clients that we have been working on getting and the ones that we did already get, but all of the clients that I'm talking to right now, and I'm like, it's just taking a little bit longer to close this, but it's like, as soon as this one client comes to us, we know for sure that they order $340,000 worth of stickers a year. As soon as this other client comes to us, we know for sure that they order somewhere between $250,000 worth of stickers a year. So as I'm pacing out the growth, it's not going to be like 11% a month, 11% a month, 11% a month, 11% a month. It's going to be like, 4% here, 70% here. 286% here. Oh, this month we only did 14%, etc. Because we're going to start closing a lot of these deals at the same time. Because at the same time that I am personally going after all of these clients, Brian is sprinting right down the avenue of getting local, state, federal government clients for us and bidding out those humongous, ginormo contracts. So the future of this company is so bright, and to get to share what's happening with all of the team was so exciting. We have made inroads to get a meeting with Netflix about the documentary series Sticker Wars. As soon as we're actually talking to them, I will not be able to say that in out loud words. And we are expanding what we're releasing on YouTube. And of course, I'll be releasing a ton of content on all Andrea Lake 101 platforms. So follow me on Instagram and TikTok, because there's going to be a whole bunch of fun new reels coming that are really starting to promote the podcast and tell the story of what we're doing. And the consistency is coming back. to the podcast. So more stories to come. In addition to that, we are doing something so frickin' fun, you guys. We are going to start exhibiting at street fairs and trade shows across the country, but starting in San Diego to see how it goes first. So we are doing a booth at San Diego Pride, and we're going to get 3 booths, like an L shape in the corner, and it's going to have 3 sections. It's going to have sticker tower stickers that are just for sale individually, like $3 each or 10 for 20, like a smoking deal with all of our new artists that have been creating all of these amazing stickers for the sticker towers. And then we're going to have a segment of the booth where the sticker towers themselves are on display. We're selling wholesale to stores selling sticker towers. Well, a lot of entrepreneurs go to Pride in San Diego. So all of a sudden, you'll see them starting to pop up in coffee shops, dispensaries, breweries, tattoo shops, bookstores, etc., anywhere that sells stickers. We're going to have a whole wholesale section. Then we're going to have like a sit down area with a couch and some chairs and some screens where local entrepreneurs can come and sit and talk to me, and I can explain to them how the Backpage program works, how our reorder process works, how very much we would love for them to switch over and have us be their preferred sticker vendor. We're also going to bring like 100,000 Pride stickers with us, with like Sticker Junkie Monkey Pride stickers that we're just going to give away, and film a bunch of content for the interwebs. We're probably also going to show off Sticker Mule's love for Donald Trump. Yeah, and that their CEO wanted to run for Congress in a vacated seat in New York that ended up like the Trump administration decided not to pull that person out on a Project 2025 Trump agenda. I am guessing a lot of LGBTQ business owners are not going to want to keep using them if they hadn't heard about Stickergate and they hear about it there. So we have like huge plans to start at Pride, but that's just the beginning, because we did hire in Chance from Jinx, who is the booth master. He did not like that title. So we're coming up with a cool title for him, like badass booth boss or something. And he is leading the booths team. And they're also going to create customized, beautiful sticker towers. My edict down to them was I want it to look so fucking cool, but it also has to be cheap. It could be like steel affixed in the center with like corrugated cardboard, and the beauty of owning a sticker company is we just create amazing art assets and put them all over the corrugated cardboard so it's lightweight. We have to create a shade solution. They need to be taller. It needs to look like the most DIY punk rock zine coolest booth that anybody has ever seen, because it's a great equalizer to show up at a street fair. Like you go in there and everybody's got this shitty, rickety little canopy that they bought for $100 at Costco. And sometimes they like print the top of the canopy, but none of it's very good and it's shaded, so it's hard to see inside. And a lot of times they put a table right at the front, which is super prohibitive, and it feels awkward to actually walk into it because it feels like it's too much commitment anyway. So we're going to create this whole open layout format, come up with a shade solution on it, and a queuing system for people that want to buy the stickers. And it's just going to be the coolest booth ever. Do you know how I know that? Because I've seen booths that Chance created for Jinx, and it's going to be so dope. We pulled up like this one thing in a group meeting, and I was like, no, not that. Nothing that looks corporate. I want it to look like the coolest indie 90s vibe zine thing that you can think of. And because our temporary sticker flooring does adhere to concrete, we're going to bring some of that to lay down as the flooring of our booth, temporary for the day. It's just going to look sick in there. Speaking of leveling up on every level, I cut a deal with X Team out of Australia to do the development on the website. So the new website is just about to launch. I am so excited. It's going to be some modified version of this. This is not a final version that you're seeing right here, but the artwork style is just intensely good. And I am going to hard shout out a member of our team, David. David recently, in part of our leveling up on every segment within the company, has taken over the emails. And you may have noticed how fucking much better our emails just recently got. So we're going to talk about marketing here. Holy smokes. I had this idea to do a tariff sale, like the tariffs are coming, like Paul Revere style, and dress the monkey up on a horse looking like Paul Revere. And Debbie created this for the email. How fucking cute is this? And this like very cartoony artwork style that I love. And then David was like, I just want to show you my range. So he created this. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm actually pulling the images up on the screen. But if you're listening, this is this very modular look, and it's these bees, and it's something like let's pollinate or help us help the pollinators or something like that. But the artwork style is so cute, and it is so different than anything I've seen from him before. And then this week when we did our spring sale, that bunny in that heart in that very traditional old school tattoo style art, yeah, that's the same artist that did the other two designs. Like, that is crazy. I feel like artists, particularly visual artists, are so segmented into a box or into a style, and to find an artist that can do artwork across myriad different art styles is like a diamond in the rough. It is like a needle in the haystack. We feel so thrilled and so delighted that David has stepped up and is creating such fucking amazingly cool art assets for us across myriad different looks, myriad different styles, etc. And if you look at the composition of the full email, like the use of colors is impeccable. The use of design to break up different elements within the email is so well done. His photoshopping skills are fantastic. And then his original art skills too. We could not be more lucky to have David on staff. And he's creating a whole series of stickers for our sticker towers. And I think he's going to be one of our top selling sticker artists, because not only in the emails is the composition great and the colors are great and the patterning is great and the diversity of artwork styles is amazing, and his use of fonts is great, and mixing multiple different fonts together in a way that is not like off-putting, in a way that's like very intriguing within an email. Also good. And his copywriting is fantastic. He continually comes up with hilarious copywriting. So on the April Fool's joke that he and Hayden did for social media, the copy was hilarious. It was like matte flavor. People on whatever think that we're 5-star, and by people we mean this guy. And the name of the guy is David A. Real Person. That's so hilarious. So I am so excited to see what he comes up with for his Sticker Tower stickers, because I know they're going to have clever slogans with fantastic artwork. And if they don't have a clever slogan, that is okay, because I am a slogan writer and I will help to create clever slogans for his stuff. So as much as I gush and shout out David on this episode, and Brian and Jenny and Hayden, I could do that for every member of my team on every episode, because our team is so freaking good. So I'm going over all the future plans and everybody is really excited. And then I have to say one of the elephants in the room, which is that we were all going to get raises. My whole team was going to get raises if we hit our targets every month. And spoiler alert, we did not hit our targets every month. And so we literally can't really afford raises right now, but we cannot afford not to give raises right now. I am the reason that we did not hit our targets this month. Period. And my team needs raises. It'd be expensive to be living out there. So I got to give every single member on my team a $2 an hour raise, and everyone was thrilled. Like when Jenny got this confetti that stays in your hand when you throw it. And it was like a morale booster of like, okay, you guys, we're making it there. Because I know I haven't talked about this in a little while, but everyone on my team is aware, and I want everyone here to be aware. Our goal in Sticker Junkie is to pay every single person that works for us a living wage. A living wage in San Diego County is $31 an hour, so we are targeting $32 an hour. But it's not like every single person makes $32 an hour. It's that $32 an hour is the lowest base wage at Sticker Junkie. That's our goal. That is not the case right now. The lowest person on our staff right now, I believe, makes $22 an hour, which is a fair wage in San Diego County, but it's not a living wage. But we cannot afford to pay a living wage until we get to $10 million in revenue. When we're at $10 million in revenue, we will be able to have healthcare, paid time off, maternity leave, and a living wage for every person. And we're not that far away from there, but it is a slog to get there. That is 5xing our sales. So we are working our faces off. And in order to hit the next thing that we provide for our team, we have got to hit our numbers. If we don't hit our numbers, then there's no money to pay for the next thing. There's only one pile of money and everything has to come out of it. And payroll should not represent more than 22% of my budget in my company. And right now with these raises, it's at 38%, but that's just for 1 month. And that means that we need to hit our month next month, and we need to hit our month after that and month after that. So nobody knew that they were going to get a raise because everyone knows that we didn't hit our numbers. So it was an exciting moment to be able to do that. But you bet your fucking bottom dollar, I sharpened my pencil. I made sure I could. I discussed it with Brian. We rolled out when the raises could be, what we could tolerate, and what we can expect coming down the pipeline to compensate for the raises. It felt so good. You guys, I cannot wait until every single one of my team members is at a comfortable salary where they are no longer thinking about money. I hate that people go and work for 40 hours a week and don't make enough to live. And I cannot wait until I am in the position where 100% of my debt is paid off. And we need to hold that $4 million annual, that $12,400 a day. We need to hold that for a couple years for me to be able to get out of the debt that I'm in this company. And it just felt great to get everybody back on board to it and onto the vision of creating the workplace that we already have. People already like coming into the office at Sticker Junkie. It is a fun place to go. We have our crazy birthday celebrations. It was just Michi's birthday today, and we went and had breakfast for lunch, and then everybody brought in super fun stuff, and we did Michi's poster on the wall and a bunch of fun stickers and got this Parisian cake and had surprise after surprise after surprise for Michi. And it really has become, the birthdays are a thing. It is your day of celebration on your birthday, and everybody really, really celebrates each other on their birthday. And it's just a fun environment to work. And it feels like we're really coming together as a team. And I can just tell that as one big thing after another does start to close, it's going to feel even more that way. So we ratcheted back what our expected goals are on the charts to 11% growth per month. So we're targeting $175,000 in revenue for April of 2025, $208,000 in revenue for May of 2025, and $235,000 in revenue for June of 2025. And if we hit those numbers, then we are going to get healthcare for everyone, which we literally just can't afford right now. And then after that, we'll start with paid time off and another round of raises until everybody is right up to where anyone will want to be in a company. But you just need to make a certain amount of revenue in order for that to happen, because the money's got to come from somewhere. And I'm really excited to be seeing such strong, positive movement in that direction, because even though we didn't quite hit the pace of growth that I wanted to this month, we set ourselves up for it. And again, it's not going to happen 11%, 11%, 11%, 11%. When we close the next $200,000 a year client, yeah, that right there increases our revenue by about 16 grand a month. Each one of those. It doesn't take that many of those. It takes 1 to 2 new clients a month in the beginning to get us to hit our targets at the highest levels. It looks like going to San Diego Pride and seeing what worked and seeing what didn't work and revise, and then going to San Diego Beer Fest and seeing what worked and what didn't work, and then going to the National Beer Fest, the national dispensary shows, the national tattoo shows, doing a whole circuit next year of Pride in every big city in the country, doing South by Southwest and all these huge events that we'll start to integrate ourselves into as we get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as a company. It is a fun ride to be on. It's a fun journey to be on. And the added benefit, this quarter, we're going to hire in some more designers to finish up those back pages. We're going to hire in someone who's an expert at YouTube, who's an expert at creating 10-minute YouTube videos. So some of those go viral, and then Hayden will cut out 3-minute reels out of those 10-minute videos so that we can just really get more attention on the story, which is, of course, gonna turn into clients, because that's the way that works. And I'm speaking at all kinds of different events as this goes forward so that I can get my face out there more, because that's going to help me get those meetings with those top-end chief marketing officers, marketing directors at different organizations, and really just bang it out of the park and really just fucking grow this company to where it deserves to grow. This company has always deserved to be a company that has hundreds of millions or billions of dollars in revenue. And we're going to take all of our customers and all of our clients, all of our viewers along for the ride and show you how that goes. And in the future, I am having every single person in my life sign off on documents in the beginning so that I can talk about them on the podcast, because there is so much juicy shit behind the scenes that I am literally not allowed to say. And I'm just starting to come to the point where I'm sharing more and more and more of what's going on. But pretty soon I'll just be able to share all of it, because it is crazy. And I kept thinking, I kept speculating, now that you've been with me and you know that I'm a law of attraction gal, I'm like, if I just work my hardest every single day, something amazing is going to happen. And y'all watch the podcast, so you know that Stickergate was that amazing thing, the biggest player in the space, the player that I could not even get a meeting with their clients because their clients were so happy with them, was like, I have an idea. I'll post stuff on Twitter and I'll gaslight them and say that I'm being like kind and unifying. I think I maybe shared this, but I don't think I shared it this way. And this is the goddamn truth. When I saw them come out super hard pro Trump, I was like, well, that's fair. When I saw like the call for unity, whatever. And then I read the email and I'm like, oh, he doesn't even realize how offensive his language is. Then I saw the shit that they were posting all over Twitter and I was like, what? This is so offensive. The language was disgusting. The voice that you hear next is going to be the voice of this Sticker Mule CEO saying this on stage in a comedy routine that he performed. These are his opinions that he's saying.
Really considering that Kamala Harris is now falling down the polls faster than she fell on Willie Brown's.
But yeah, he said that in out loud words. So yeah, that like the reason that she is done well in life or done well politically 25 years later is that she slept with some dude 25 years ago. And I'm like, you guys, if that's what it took to get the highest echelons of government, pretty sure we would have cracked that code. Then he went a step further.
I can say I was recently at a white dudes for Harris party where 5 different dudes' girlfriends all threw up before I put it in their mouth. They're so diverse, Kamala doesn't even know what accent to use when she's trying to talk to them. Well, on the other side, Howard Stern, Mark Cuban, and Eminem, I'm sad to report, have all turned into
I'm just intentionally reminding you that this huge, humongous, ginormous company is privately owned by the dude that you just heard talking. And so if you're buying your stickers from that competitor of ours, we would love for you to come over to Sticker Junkie. And if you are at Sticker Junkie and you know anybody that is buying stickers over at that dude's company, we would just love if you shot him the very fast reel that is pinned to the top of our Instagram and say, hey, maybe you should check out these chicks instead. They're rad. And if you're watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, then you probably already buy your stickers from Sticker Junkie. But you know what? If you know somebody or if you hear of any of your friends' businesses who are buying from our competitor, who likes to talk the way that you just heard, that is the CEO of Sticker Mule, and that is a privately held company that he owns. And if you would like instead to support a small business where our ethos is we want to create the best workplace in the world, we want everybody to be on a living wage, we want to have paid time off, all the things, all the bells and whistles. And when I win, everybody around me wins. I don't want to win alone, but I'll tell you what I do want. I fucking want to be out of debt right now. So I have got my butt in gear. I am working my face off, and I can't wait to see what happens next with the company. And I can't wait to report in on how we smashed our numbers in April, because so far this month is kicking all of the ass. I will catch up with you next time on Andrea Lake 101, the making of a billionaire.